This video is about the rendering of walls in the Philippines. I have featured about rendering before when we were doing the budget bungalow that I have given to the old couple. But this one, since from that time, I already had 7,000 to 8,000 more new subscribers, and all the interested foreigners in building here in the Philippines is asking how we do our rendering. So I'm going to show you how we do our rendering from the process of buying the sand. And you got to remember, when we buy our sand, it is sourced from the local rivers that we have around here, and it is not from a salty source. And so it's like it's already been a washed sand, because it's already been washed off, and then we dig it out, they dig it out and then sell it to us by metric cubic meter. Now 1 cubic meter of sand, we're buying it, which is like one pickup multi-cab is 1 cubic meter. That costs us 450 pesos. So who's doing my rendering around here outside most of the time now is Old Lito, since the day that he managed to practice on the budget bungalow. Now over here is our filing area for the moment of my sand and gravel. So you can see this is the sand that we have, and what will happen is they will sift it up on this little tool that they made with a screen on, shake it, and all the fine sand will fall under, and then they bag it up like this. The remaining grits will be saved up, and we will be saving it as additional gravel when we mix it up for our hollow blocks filing, or even our any muck that we pour, any beams, columns, that will be what we use as gravel. Together we mix it up with our proper gravel and this sifted grit. So like that one, you've seen that there's about 4 sacks left for Old Lito to mix, and that will be 2 more sacks of cement, because our mix is 1:2 when it comes to rendering. What we're doing in the budget bungalow is 1:3, because this is now my house that we're working on, so we do the prime A mix, which is 1:2. So if you are buying a sifted sand already bagged up like that, equivalent to 40 kilos, which is the weight of 1 bag of cement, that will cost you between 60 to 80 pesos per bag. Whereas in here, we do it like this because we also use the remaining grits. But you can buy this, as far as I know, in our local hardwares around here. Sifted sand costs about 60 to 80 pesos per bag. But I know down in the city, it costs 100 or more. So it does make a difference for us if we are doing the sifting ourselves, because we have the grits up for use as well. And that is the size of the multi-cab where we're gonna be putting it when we purchase it. We put it there, and that's the equivalent size of 1 cubic meter, and I pay 450 pesos either sand or gravel on 1 cubic meter. Now this is how Old Lito is doing it. He mixed the sand, 1 bag, half a bag of cement, because like I said, 2 bags of the fine sand and 1 bag of cement is our mix. So but he do it in halves, and what he done is he pre-mix it dry and just wet it up as he goes along, so there will be no stiffness when he will want to go out to have a break or have a lunch, and all he can concentrate on is the finished product. So this is how they do it. You don't have any additives that you can buy there in the West, or any pre-mix for your rendering, and that's why some comments before that they should be able to do rendering in a 4-bedroom house in 1 day, max is 2 days. Well, we don't have that kind of machines and kind of pre-mix or mixing additives that you have in your mock for rendering around here. So, like I said, in the Philippines, you have to make do of what is available material-wise here in the Philippines if you are building. Now, what old Lito is doing now, as he put on the mock, look at the bottom part, it's still rough because he's waiting for it to dry a little bit, and then he will do what they call rodella, make it smoother and even. Now, we don't have the strings that most of the renderers do, like making it even with the strings. Because this is an external wall, I am not concerned about making sure that everything lines up, as long as it's primarily first look it's lined up. Unless you are really inspecting it one by one, panel by panel, that you can notice that, oh, it's not even. But I'm not concerned. I just want the whole hollow block area to be protected. And this is what old Lito is doing here. See how he's trying to also even out to see that it's not really sunking in without have to rely on the strings. You gotta remember, he sift the sand, he mix it up, and he applies it. This is all done by himself. So, he is now our official renderer. He done the storeroom, he done this one, and he will also be doing, after this wall, he'll be doing the back walls as well. And now that I'm making a toilet for my staff here, which is mostly the Loy and all the, like, Willie, they will be using that toilet that we're making outside near the mango tree. That's what they're working on now. And that will also be rendered by old Lito. So basically, this is what cost me. He can render this panel, one wall, in 1 day. But if he's gonna be squaring up the columns and squaring up like this one here, the entrance, it will take him a day or half a day to do that, because the squaring up is where you put mock, wait for it to dry, and then it takes a while than just rendering it by the whole panel. But you can see overall it's making my outside property cleaner and neater than just leaving it to the bare hollow blocks like this. Because like I said, hollow blocks are not load bearing. It will soon crumble in time. Even if the mix I put inside is 1, 2, 3, or in fact, like I said, I was using the grits for the one, for not 1, 2, 3, it's 1 to 4 for this one. In the filing of the hollow blocks is 1 cement, 2 sands, and 2 of those grits coming from the sifted pine sand. So you can see he keeps wetting it and make it even, checking it that it's all even, and things like that. What he's putting in there that it's still rough, he's gonna smoothen it out by splashing water like that from the foam. And that's how they render it. This 3-meter distance between the wall is taking him a day to render this. But he does the sifting, he does the mixing, he does everything. Just one man. Also, I reckon that's still good compared to what I have experienced on the budget bungalow before, that their so-called told me that they have already been such experienced builders, and then Audito's faster than them doing the rendering. You know what I mean? So I believe that he's done very good in rendering this one, cleaning up and tidying up my place all by himself. So he got 4 sands of fine sand left now. And so he will soon be doing sifting again. Mixing, sifting, and even buying the sand if he has to on the river. So this is what is rendering in the Philippines. And one wall like this. Pila ka sako ang usa ka ani tay?
Ha?
Pila ka mix?
Ang usak sako, duhak sakong bas.
Nya kani ani ka dak-a.
Kani? Kuanik sako, ma'am. So, duhak ni.
Dogto nga. So this wall, pero wala apilo na palitan, apil na tulo siguro no.
Wan mo lagi.
Magi?
Nipis man.
So this one, he said this whole wall, this wall and the other, the curved one, cost him making 2.5 bags of cement, which is a cement is 190. That's I'm buying here, 190 per bag of cement. And the sifted sand, the sifted gravel for 450. And one multi-cab will bag up 45 sacks of gravel or sand. So that's 10 pesos. So the whole mix is 210 pesos. And this is how many? 2.5, 210. That's 420. 420. I was looking at what they want because someone's like my messenger. 420 and 525. So that's 525 plus old Lito's wages for the day. That will be 925 for one day on this wall. I'm not counting the columns because columns takes him half a day, but he's gonna do the columns all in one, so it will be so economical. So 925 for one panel rendering, just one side, and then next on the other side. So this is how rendering or finishing in the Philippines is done. No other additives or mix aside from the cement and the fine sand. And when it's all sunny and dried up, I will be showing you how do I do my waterproofing for all these walls that you're seeing out here that's been rendered. I'm gonna be waterproofing this inside and also on the back.